This is a video of Ray we shot approximately 1 week ago, actually 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to point out a few things that I see that are incorrect in his delivery mechanics. I'm taking my reference point off of the learning booklet and series, How to Develop a Natural Explosive Pitcher by Dick Mills from www.pitching.com, and he owns a company called All About Pitching Limited. And I want to analyze Ray just briefly to show you the first couple of steps that we're going to be doing in order to improve his mechanics, which should improve his velocity, because there are several things going wrong, and I think he's getting tied up quite a bit. But the first thing I want to note is that the two areas that I'm having Ray work on are, number one, the handbrake, which is where his hands will come apart from the ball being in the glove to start the throwing motion and start the arm swing backwards, as well as the very first part of the motion, which is the initiation with the leg lift. And as you will see as we zoom back and forth in slow-mo on this video, you will see that his leg lift, as he gets his balance and he brings his leg up, he's got a twisting to his body, which is twisting his shoulders away from the target. His shoulders should stay lateral, side to side, second to home plate. And he's creating a coiling motion here, which is over-rotating towards second base by lifting his knee backwards. And as he reaches, he's got a good strong back leg. He right here, he doesn't want to have too much drop in his knee position based on the videos that I have watched of the correct motion. So he's got a good strong tall leg motion, but you'll see towards the end or the middle of his stride that his back leg is beginning to dip as he moves forward. And we want that position to stay strong. But anyway, his front leg being pointed in the rear direction is causing an early handbrake, which is also causing his shoulders to over-rotate too early. Along with his early handbrake, he is losing a lot of forward momentum, even given his size. Moving forward, you will let me bring my mouse down so we can move forward. You will see he's out, his weight is out over his lead hip, and his leg is still back. As he drops his hands, he's already begun to break his hands right here. He should be holding that just a little bit longer and breaking his hands right about now, just as his legs, as he starts his motion forward. Now he should be breaking his hands, so he's a good quarter to half second out in front, which means he's going to end up throwing the ball in his motion a lot earlier than he should to keep the weight momentum and the weight shift. And as you can see, his rear leg has begun to collapse, and he needs to be keeping that a lot straighter with a slight bend, but he's collapsing on that back leg, and his front leg is not out in front of him, so he's got very poor weight displacement. And as you can see in this position, his lead knee needs to be out more parallel, where he's leading with his front heel. That's incorrect. The early handbrake is causing him to rotate his arms and his shoulders through a little too early, and he's because of the poor position that he's holding the ball in. He's holding the ball, actually, it's hard to tell. It's a little blurry, but his fingers are actually behind the ball, and you can tell by the pit of his elbow, which will begin to face up. It should be facing sideways, if not a little more down, so that he's more on top of the ball going back. That'll get his arm into the proper cocked position. I'm going to slide this timeline forward here and get through his. You can see at this point in his delivery, his weight is leaning in a backwards direction, and the video that I have from the rear will also show this, that he's overly leaning backwards at this point. He's not getting a very good leg stretch, even though he is on a flat ground, and that is because his back leg collapsed. And because of his back leg collapse, it is straightened out here, but he's already lost momentum, which would have propelled him another 4 to 5 inches forward, and with his low right shoulder, he's not in a good throwing position right here, and he's losing a lot of momentum. It's putting a lot of stress on his shoulder, I believe, because of this error that I'm trying to fix. I'll slide this forward, and as you can see here, he's in a better position. As he's making his transition, his arm is beginning to throw the ball. His elbow's already parallel with his head, where it should be back a little bit in a 90-degree angle still, where his elbow is back in a back and cocked position. But because of his early handbrake, he's already that quarter of a second ahead, and so that's why his throwing motion is too soon in his delivery. You can also see, because of that backward lean, he's leaning to the left, to the first base side of the pitcher's mound, which is not got a good strong posture for him, and these are things that we're going to be working on. His front leg is solid as he's landing, but his front foot should be a good half to full shoe length forward, allowing him to further transition his weight over that front leg, and which will in turn transition into more momentum going into the throw or into the pitch to the plate. And you can see as he's releasing the ball, he releases a little high right here at this position. It's a little blurry, but he's starting to get, he doesn't get his torso out over his front knee because of the sideways lean. He doesn't get his torso out over the front knee, and therefore he's not delivering momentum into the ball. He never gets his torso over his front knee, and the ball is snapping through. He's already let go of it, and so I think he's overly throwing with his arm, which is putting a lot more stress on his arm and shoulder, which I think led to a situation that he could, injure himself. Next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the changes that we have made in 1 week or 2 weeks, and see if that has developed any improved habits in the way that he's breaking his hands and in the way he is starting his forward momentum.